This is a blend of ancient and modern. Thousands of years of reclamation have cultivated many Sangji fish ponds. The prosperity of silk reeling industry 100 years ago made it very rich, billions of people around the world. However, the most famous thing about this land is food. Shunde food is very famous, which makes it different from anywhere in the world. In summer, in Zhejiang, many rivers nourish the broadest plain along the coast of southern China. Under the river, there is such an ancient secret. The villagers of Huangliankan lifted a dragon boat from the bottom of the water. It is 30 meters long and weighs 2 tons. It carries people's desire to fight against disasters and their expectation of success. On the Dragon Boat Festival, the dragon boat sailed out of the village and slid in the river. Another important thing began immediately. A cooking team of more than a dozen people set up an iron pot by the river. They have to prepare food for more than 2,000 people in the village, more than 30 kinds of traditional ingredients, and 10 dishes that have not changed for many years, from 5 a.m. to sunset. This annual feast is called Long Chunfan. The whole village will get together here in early May of the lunar calendar. This is the ancient way of life in the countryside. No matter how long the time has passed, the taste and culture of hometown food have not changed. Direct sunlight Zhejiang Delta, the highest temperature close to 40 degrees Celsius. Summer is here. It's the hottest season of the year. Hyoji, 83, appeared by the river on time. Zingwang, a traditional fishing tool. Uncle he never cares how many fish he can catch, just because fishing is very interesting. At the moment, a beautiful fruit on the river bank is maturing and the peel is blooming like Fengyan. It's time to pick. Fengyan's scientific name is Pingpa, Shunde. It is planted everywhere in the countryside, and it is slightly dried after picking. Take out the fruit as soon as possible. Fenjiangguo meat is like chestnut and tastes more delicate. The picking season is only 40 days, and it has been 1,000 years since Shunde people's diet. Cut the chicken into small pieces and marinate with salt, sugar and rice wine for 15 minutes. First fry fenji anglo, stir-fry chicken pieces to give flavor, and then simmer for 20 minutes. Fenji anglo is sweet and soft, and the chicken is fresh and smooth. Fenji anglo braised chicken is people's favorite food. In summer, began to meet in the streets. At 7 o'clock, Huang Jiuxian's mother and daughter appeared on Fuhua Street on time. In 3 hours, it will be the focus of the whole street. Huang Jiuxian has been running a restaurant for 16 years since she retired. She is the only one here. The daughter who goes to college can come to help on holidays and tidy up the vegetables she needs. Make another 50 kilograms of porridge. The protagonist did not appear. At 9 o'clock, Fuhua Street became the busiest alley in Rongguei. All the guests came here and the restaurants began to get busy. Huang Jiuxian left the restaurant. She learned to drive at the age of 60 in order to get to a place on time every day. "40 minutes later, a slaughterhouse in the suburbs of the neighboring city of Zhongshan hid her secret of cooking food. Get me some pig tongue." The parts other than pork are collectively referred to as zhuza. The nutritional elements of animal viscera are much higher than meat, and the price is low. It is a very popular ingredient in folk cooking. With fresh zhuza, Huang Jiuxian returns to Fuhua Street. Her restaurant is the busiest place. Fresh zhuza can be processed in the shortest time, sprinkled with salt, sugar and flour, and stirred repeatedly to make the porridge taste good. The production sequence and method are very important. Finally, put the pig liver into the pot and float for 3 minutes. At this time, the pig liver tastes best. In Shunde, large restaurants have extremely accurate requirements for fire, and porridge shops also have their own methods. Food tastes best when it changes from raw to cooked. There is another way to make zhuza. Knead the fresh pig belly with guava leaves and raw powder for 10 minutes and wash it with water. Add pig bones. Ginkgo fruit gives off fragrance. Add white pepper and reduce the heat for 2 hours. Pig belly and bones contain collagen. The soup is delicious and the pork tripe is crisp. Most Cantonese soup contains a lot of things, but you don't have to eat it. And pork tripe is delicious. In the evening, Huang Jiuxian's restaurant is very lively. Many people come to eat another dish in addition to zhuza porridge. Fresh pig blood, on-site production, very simple, fried, spicy, and delicious. Hot water, fresh and delicious. Everyone left at 4 a.m. and Huang Jiuxian has been working for 9 hours. The last bowl of zhuza porridge is both dinner and breakfast. Delicious food has always been available in Shunde. The last night club has just closed and the vegetable market is lively. Summer is the season for fruits and vegetables. At 5 a.m., Uncle Chi, 54, came to the vegetable market. He wanted to deliver the vegetables picked an hour ago to the buyer. Relying on this job, Uncle Chi can earn 100 yuan a day. After delivering the dishes, it's time for breakfast. Unlike other places, Shunde's tea house provides jujube wine and red rice wine with porridge. This is Shunde's breakfast. People are used to storing a bottle of rice wine in the tea house and marking it with their own marks. Uncle Chi's lover didn't have time for breakfast, and the vegetable field immediately had a good harvest. The fruit of the plant is called jigua, which is Uncle Chi's daily salary source. Jigua is planted on the edge of the pond, which is the ancient Sangji fish pond. So far, for nearly 1,000 years, people in the Pearl River Delta have used limited land. They continue to recycle and create value. They have developed their manufacturing industry and changed the mode of production here. Today, they rarely see the prototype of Sangji fish pond. This natural circulation mode of work is retained in Shunde. Uncle Chi wants to invest the salary of selling jigua today. Chickens and ducks are raised in ponds. Feces are used as organic fertilizer to provide sufficient nutrients for chiqua. Free-range chicken is a good food material. To catch a chicken the size of a fist is for a daughter-in-law's confinement. Grandson Mashan is about to be born and raises chickens. In order to supplement nutrition for his daughter-in-law after giving birth to children, Uncle Chi carefully planned and was found wrong by his wife. For Uncle Chi, jigua is only part of his salary. Mainly the fish in the fish pond. Shunde people are very picky about fish. They want to eat fresh fish. Besides the backbone, big head and grass carp also have more than 100 bones. Chef Shunde knows the location of the fishbone, removes the fishbone with an accurate knife method, and cleans it in salt water to remove the fishy smell. Dry the surface with a towel to make the fish taste more easily. Mulberry leaves are rich in amino acids and taste good. After absorbing the chicken juice, they become delicious and make the chicken delicious. It only takes 2 minutes and 30 seconds. At this time, the meat is the most rich in juice, the meat quality is good, and the taste of different ingredients blends and circulates. It was well displayed in a sauna banquet. All ingredients were produced in Jitong. In May of the lunar calendar, jigua blooms. This is Uncle Chi's busiest time. He wants to pollinate each flower. And Chi is also busy. China has the custom of making zongzi. Different from the leaves used in other places, Shunde people near the fish pond like to use new leaves. Its leaves are large and strong, and are not easy to be damaged. And a special smell. Zongzi is used to pray. The shape of zongzi in the Ming Dynasty is similar to that of today. The son brought his daughter-in-law back for the festival. They worked in villages and towns. When they returned to the countryside, they could eat the delicious food of the original ecology. Jigua grows very fast and can grow to 500 grams 5 days after the end of flowering. Sangmakan has fertile soil, and its Jigua tastes sweet and its skin color is bright. It is called Haimeo Jigua. Shunde people have fresh ingredients. They only buy newly picked Jigua and finish picking. Uncle Chi goes to the market. In summer, you can often see Jigua on the table. It can match with any food material. The fresh flower crab is delicious. It is fried with ginger slices, vegetables, and shrimps. It tastes good. Then add the soup made of pig bones, and the protagonist appears. Make soft Jigua with seafood for 20 minutes, absorb the taste of flower crab, turn mung beans into bean paste, and make the soup delicious. There is another way, just stew. Jigua retains the skin, the outer layer is crisp, and the inside is soft and sweet. In Shunde, you have 2 months to enjoy the delicious fresh Jigua every year. The agricultural production of Jitong in the 4 seasons, and the fishing harvest in autumn is the best. Uncle Chi's family has a fish pond of 14 mu. 2,500 kilograms of grass carp are harvested today. Such a bumper harvest occurs twice a year, which is a reward for their hard work in a year. The ancient Jitong is integrated into the pace of modernization. The countryside is connected with the city. People in the city can also find food from Jitong on their dinner tables. Mulberry leaves are added to vegetables, and mulberry is also used as seasoning. The fruit acid makes the meat more delicious. Mulberry leaf fried and river shrimp fried taste very good. Cut all kinds of solid vegetables, add abalone juice and mulberry leaves to make a vegetarian dish taste delicious. Through food, people living in cities can also feel seasonal changes. Once autumn is over, Shunde is still hot. The village is a river. People like water since childhood. Although the old house is not near the river, the children also like water. Not far away, the elders are busy. This is the first harvest of autumn. Chensheiming called his lover. The small vegetable garden has more than 10 square meters. Labor keeps the harvest all the year round, enough for a family to eat for a year. Chensheiming, 60, has been living in Shunde. With his efforts, he has a good business. Although they make a living by farming, Shunde people really like land. A small wasteland beside the warehouse was transformed into a vegetable garden by Chen's Heiming. This is a house built during the Republic of China. The Chen's Heiming family has lived here for more than 30 years. They bought it in the 1980s and the old house is very dilapidated. The centennial wood carving should be carefully maintained. What others don't want at home, the sun will collect it, and the construction of the old house will accompany the children's growth. Mother is always busy in the kitchen. She never needs help. Prepare dinner for more than a dozen people in the family to meet the different tastes of the family. The most important thing is soup. Today's newly harvested sarge is the main ingredient of the soup. Locals call it dilly. Chicken feet are rich in collagen to make the soup thicker. Soup is the most important diet in Shunde family. Shunde people pay attention to time when they drink soup. They choose rich and diverse materials, and the ingredients of the day are the first choice. In early autumn, Pueraria lobata is mature and dace is fat. Dace oil frying removes the fishy smell and Pueraria brings sweetness. Red beans with bean flavor, Fenge red beans and dace soup are loved by everyone in autumn. Mussels are abundant freshwater shellfish in Shuexiang. They are first oiled and then boiled over a high fire until boiling. Protein and fat are dissolved in the water to produce white soup. Jujube, medlar and moldy beans are added. People in Lingnan believe that drinking soup is the same as drinking medicine, which can nourish and strengthen the body. Besides white soup, clear soup is another level like tea. Apply corn flour and peanut oil evenly inside and outside the fish head, then rinse it to remove the fishy smell and brush it with rice wine. Gastrodia elata, red jujube and tangerine peel as the base material, stew with water until boiling, and then put in the fish head. Boiled can avoid water loss and prevent steam from diluting the soup. After 4 hours, the soup is clear and tastes good. 8. This is an ordinary meal for ordinary people. Give it to him, come on, don't give it to me. I like the feeling of everyone getting together. When I was a child, I was not sensible and envied the taste outside. When I grew up, I found that the taste at home is the most suitable for me. Eating at home is the living habit of Shunde people. There is a taste of mother and home at home. The traditional flavor is flowing in the old house, and new ways of eating are entering the city. Shunde is only 30 kilometers away from Guangzhou and close to Hong Kong and Macau. Like changing China, many different eating styles and cultures are also changing the lives of Shunde people. When Chenbijin was studying in the UK, he liked West Point. After graduation, he returned to his hometown and opened his own dessert shop. Look around for food and learn. Chenbijin wants to conquer picky Shunde people with foreign food. The process is not easy. Some young people become experimenters. Also returning from studying abroad, Yan Yunjian, 2 years younger than Chenbijin, has different choices. The family makes traditional pastries, and the formula and skills are handed down from generation to generation. Wedding cakes are sent with invitations when Shunde people get married. Fish cake is a favorite food for children on the Mid-Autumn Festival. The aroma of these baked pastries has been accompanied by the life of Shunde people for 100 years. Another eating habit can't be changed. Tea opens a new day. Whether with family, friends, or business partners. Morning tea is a bridge of communication between Shunde people. For 500 years, the business here has been active, making morning tea a way of life. Tea is not the protagonist. People attach importance to refreshments. From the traditional cup of tea and 2 cakes to now, there are hundreds of choices. Refreshments have become more and more varieties with the changes of the times. A kind of rice cake has the longest history. It has been on the table of Shunde people for 500 years. Luanjiao cake can be made of rice and sucrose. The most important birth of food is water and soil. Rice has been cultivated in Guangdong, China for more than 6,500 years, which is why Guangzhou is called Hui. The Pearl River Delta is one of the important rice-producing areas in China. Shunde is located in the central area of the Pearl River system. The Xijiang River and Beijiang River bring soil-rich in organic matter, and the subtropical monsoon climate brings sufficient precipitation. It has long been a paradise for rice growth. Luanjiao cake first used yellow sugar. The improvement of sugar-making technology makes white granulated sugar the mainstream. Luanjiao cake has a white appearance. It is made of indica rice every other year. It has a high starch content, giving the rice cake a good taste. After soaking the rice grains for one night, add water to polish and filter repeatedly, leaving only the best rice slurry. Fermented at 35 degrees Celsius all night, the carbon dioxide naturally fermented rice slurry forms rich bubbles on the surface. The sweetness of Luanjiao cake comes from glucose after starch hydrolysis, and the acidity comes from lactic acid produced by fermentation. In order to get the appropriate taste of sour and sweet, we must grasp the fermentation process. Sister Huan understands the skills. This craft has been handed down to 4 generations since our ancestors. After steaming at high temperature for 20 minutes, the surface of Luanjiao cake is smooth and the interior is full of pores, which is the characteristic of fermentation maturity. It tastes sweet and sour, with the smell of rice. At 3 a.m., the truck carrying Luanjiao cake set out on time. Now, the whole Luanjiao cake in the Pearl River Delta is made by Sister Huan. In the past 30 years, the manufacturing industry and economy have developed rapidly. It has become one of the richest regions in China, and the urban area has expanded nearly 40 times. Zhang Quanhui is the builder of the city. For 20 years, he has worked in construction sites of Shunde size. Unlike other friends, Zhang Quanhui still has a beautiful place in her heart. Today is the weekend. Zhang Quanhui left early instead of going to the construction site. Zhang Quanhui began to prepare dinner. The vegetables planted in the forest land, such as eggplant, pepper, perilla, and medlar leaves, can be harvested without special care. Water is the best way of hot pot in Shunde people's eyes. Just a pot of water, a little onion, and ginger. The simple method of tangerine peel can highlight the taste of ingredients. The newly caught grass carp takes the back meat and cuts it into pieces of meat less than 1 millimeter. Shaped like a butterfly, fish fillets only take a few seconds and taste very good. Lingnan people attach great importance to sauce. They must choose natural raw materials and make full use of the sun to promote the reproduction of microorganisms. Bean protein is decomposed into amino acids. After 6 months of production, the liquid in the sauce jar becomes delicious. It is the best match for Cantonese hot pot. For different kinds of fish, the bottom of the pot should also change accordingly. Silver carp is fat in winter. This kind of fish has high fat content and heavy fishy smell. It is not suitable for light production. Shunde people have their own way. Fermented black bean sauce and fish soup boil into soy sauce. The acidic substances contained in tomatoes decompose the soil flavor in silver carp and remove the smell of the soil, so pepper, onion, ginger, pepper, and other seasoning. The delicacy of catfish is shown in black bean juice, which is the delicacy of winter. In addition to fish, chicken is also the ingredient of Cantonese hot pot. The chicken raised in rural areas does not exceed 1.5 kilograms in 2 years. The meat is good and tastes good. It is the first choice of Shunde people. Not only are the requirements for ingredients strict, the pot is also very important. The crystal pot made of silica raw stone emphasizes the chemical stability of the material. Adding the ground crystal block to the hot pot makes it easier to control the temperature. While the taste is improved, the transparent pot makes people happier. For most people, Cantonese hot pot is most suitable for relatives and friends to sit together and find another feeling. Picked vegetables, fresh grass carp, plus bamboo forest. Hui brother worked hard at the construction site for a week. Only this meal was the pastoral life he enjoyed most. Many people say I'm strange. Some birds don't eat and some families don't go back. We saw the bird when we were young. When we were young, we slept on the roof. We all saw the bird and watched the meteors in the night sky. In spring, the southeast monsoon came, and several chicks broke their shells, and egrets multiplied according to their survival. The bamboo forest on the shore is like a city clock, reminding people that the new year has begun. People in Huanglian village draw dragon boats again and apply tung oil to wait for another dragon boat festival. In Jitong, Uncle Chi is pollinating Chi Yue flowers, and the family will usher in a new harvest. Fuhua Street Huangjiakshan is like a clock on time, waiting for guests to arrive. The 4 seasons alternate, and people's steps towards tomorrow are always moving forward. Here, the food delivered by heart keeps people away from the countryside. Never far away. Shunde people pursue the ultimate taste. They can study hundreds of ways to eat fish and spend half a year just to make one dish. Many tourists come to Shunde not only to enjoy the rural scenery, but also to taste the delicious food here. Thank you.